Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for spending some time with us again this afternoon. It's certainly a beautiful spring, almost summer-like day here in the Flint Hills of Kansas. It's right now it's a balmy 84 degrees outside with not a cloud to be seen. So I hope you're enjoying some nice spring weather your way as well. I'm here today with Chuck, Matthew, and Jason, and we are going to be showing you, Matthew and Jason are going to be showing you some of the new goodies in Student Manager version 063 and ACEware 050. And so in just a moment, I'm going to be turning the controls over to Matthew, and he'll do a show and tell of some of the new things you can see in Student Manager. And then we'll turn things over to Jason, and he'll tell us some new things in ACEware, and he'll give us a preview of something big coming your way. But I've told him to just do a preview because next Thursday we hope you will join us for all the nitty-gritty information about our new ACEware student printing. So I am going to be turning the presentation over to Matthew. And while I do that, I would like to remind you that if you have questions throughout his show and tell, put those questions in the chat, and Chuck and I are watching that, and we can share them with everybody else or answer other questions you may have that may not even be related to this new release. So, Matthew, I hope that you are, it looks like you're in control now, and I'll turn things over to you.
Thank you, Sharon. The first thing I wanted to show you, or show you guys, is well, we got a few things with the payment screen, so we're going to start there. I'm going to pull up a payment or a registration here real quick that I've been working on. So what's been frustrating people is after you void a payment, you can't see the payer name until now. So this was a Pell Grant payment that was applied to this registration, and maybe it was incorrect or something, but it's been voided. But you couldn't see the old payer name on there to really be able to tell where the payment originated from. So this has been added. Another thing is we've had these UDFs down here for a while, and the new thing with it is we can actually now validate those. You need to go into your preferences, go into your Pay tab, go to Pay UDFs, and in front of the character fields, put a plus sign in front of those, just like the other UDF areas. If you've got a plus sign in front of those, it makes it a drop-down box or a validated box. So now I'm going to go back into a payment. It doesn't really matter which one. So now I've got drop-down boxes. You can hit the plus sign to add whatever code. I've added a couple of codes here to play with, so you can quickly grab specific choices for these fields if you need to. So that's new as of 63. Next thing, spell check. Oh, I should mention, for the first time in forever, at least as far as I can remember, we're actually, when you update to 63, you can't just do an executable swap if you've got the email module. If you've got the email module, you need a new DLL or even a whole set of DLLs. So you need to get with your technician, and they can send you those DLLs to update. It's WWIP stuff for those of you that have the old email module. For the whatchamacallit, if you're using the new mode, which uses the SSL method of sending emails, then you need www.netbridge.dll as well. But also with this new feature I'm going to show you, you need a new www.netbridge.dll anyway for it to work. So you're killing two birds with one stone if you get that DLL. So I'm going to go to the catalog codes, and I've got an example in here somewhere. Cheeseburger, cooking cheeseburgers. I was a very bad speller when I created this, so if I hit spell check, maybe. First comes to CN, it doesn't know what that is. Well, I've meant to say can. Has, okay, that's really bad. For some reason, it thinks veggie burger is close to cheeseburger. I don't know why, but anyway, cheeseburger is the choice. This is actually using the same dictionary as OpenOffice uses, so it's not a dictionary that we've thrown together or anything like that, or it is a standard dictionary used for the OpenOffice suite of software. So. Plus, it plays a lot nicer than the old spell check method. So that's ready for you. Also, as I was coming in to the catalog screen, and I'll do that again, this is a new behavior, and this is catalog codes, any of these. So I'll do email templates. But it goes straight to the find screen. It used to just go to the first code, and then you'd have to hit find to go to the correct one that you were wanting to go to, or use the navigation arrows to get where you wanted to go. Now it goes directly into the find screen so that you can, save you a step of having to search through things to get to where you want. So, next thing, also with UDFs, and this is name UDFs, registration UDFs, and course UDFs. But I've got the example set up in names, so I'm going to go to my names tab of preferences, click on name UDFs. So again, I'm doing a validated list on a numeric this time, and I'm called it decimals because I'm giving away what this is actually going to do for me. And what it is it allows me to set up validated codes that have decimals in them. So if I come to my additional info here, so the decimals tab. So for 1.5, you have to enter 1.50 in the codes for it to work. It's set to respect 2 decimal places. So you have to enter both decimal places for these to actually work and allow you to put in 1.5, or if you wanted to do a 2.50, I don't know. Save. So you have to put in 2.50 in order for it to be able to be selectable. It'll still show in the list without the 2 decimals, but it doesn't allow you to really select that. So like if I put in 1.4 and try to select it, okay, it's making a liar out of me, but I think if I save it and go back, yeah, it's gone. So you have to do 1.50 or 1.40, save it, and it actually sticks. So that's the one caveat with this to make it work, but by golly, it works. All right, next thing is actually from the find screen. Anywhere you look for names, my screen is in a different scale for the presentation. Okay, so the new thing is on the find screen is birth date is now available over here on the right for you to be able to look people up. Maybe you've got 2 John Smiths and you want to see which John Smith you're actually talking to, ask for their birth date, and you can look on the find screen for that. All right, kind of another new behavior, but it's tied to a preference, so you can turn this off if you want to, is we are now, when you look up a course, we are recalculating the enrollment numbers, both co-enrolled and co-wait num. So that's your enrollment count and your waitlist count on the course screen. If for performance reasons you're, I don't know, not wanting it to do that every single time you're loading the course, you can turn off this preference down here, the recalculate enrollment on course load. We're doing this to hopefully alleviate some of the incorrect number. You can, if two people are registering at the same time, especially if both people from Student Manager are doing it, it ends up being that the second person that saves to the course screen overwrites the first person saving, so they don't necessarily get the correct enrollment count number on there. Obviously, this isn't happening very often, maybe in peak registration times, so you can get a little bit off. So yeah, we're finding enough examples of that happening that we went ahead and started implementing this on here. All right, last thing I've got on my list is emails. For 62, we made the email screen longer. For 63, we've now made it wider. You can kind of tell here at where the end of the email address is, where it used to be the end of the screen. So it's a good 100 pixels wider here to give you more room to type. We also expanded the carbon copy box for you, the attachment box, give you more room in these boxes to type in your long addresses and long attachments. So gives you more room. This is quick email and the class email. Both screens have had the same thing happen to it. So any questions?
So far, you're doing well. No, nothing so far.
Well, then I'm done.
Well, thank you, Matt. I know you've been doing a lot of work, and we appreciate that you're always listening and working to make things easier for everyone. And these are some great updates that people are going to enjoy. So while you guys are thinking of questions, you can keep chatting. I'm going to turn the screen over to Jason so he can let us know what's going on in the new ACEware. Jason, you should be seeing that invite right now.
I am indeed. Let's see if this works. Let me know when you can see my screen.
We're good.
Okay. Well, first things first, the new fixes and features that we're going to be introducing in ACEware Build 50 are going to be, well, I should say, Stein has been working very tirelessly and diligently to get a lot of security and vulnerability updates that have been uncovered in ACEware, patched and fixed. So expect a whole slew of enhancements with Build 50. So if you're one of the places where IT has been running some of the new scans because some of the new unscrupulous people out there that want to just ruin your ACEware server's day are coming up with new tricks where they can inject SQL statements and cause all kinds of problems. Rest assured that we're staying on top of that and monitoring our software and continuously patching those vulnerabilities. So lots of new fixes in 50 for that. The other thing that I want to mention is when we released 49, we introduced a new feature called the recount feature, and kind of a boo-boo on our part, but it does have a bug in it. So until 50 is released, if you do decide to use this recount feature, which is in the alt settings in your ACEware INI, I would go ahead and just take that option out. Not a whole bunch of places we're jumping on this, but rest assured that it is fixed in 50, and then that will be fully functional. So again, if you are using that in build 49, I would recommend you just take that setting out of your ACEware INI. All right, and on to the big news. We are introducing a new feature that is going to grant the ability for your students to log into ACEware and to self-print PDFs of their registration transcripts as well as their course certificates. Now, this is going to be a really cool, robust system. We're still working out some of the kinks, but to kind of give you a tiny preview right now, what I'm going to do is just log into my account. So I'm logging in as a student, and from your main welcome page, if you go to the history, you guys are probably familiar with this because all of this stuff already exists in ACEware, but we've got a couple new buttons here. We've got my certificates and my transcript. So let's go ahead and click on my certificates. What this does is it takes us to a page that lists certain courses that have the certificate print option enabled. Now, I should say that both the certificates and the transcript feature of this new module are going to be you're going to be able to enable and disable those in whichever fashion you choose. You're also going to be able to control which courses allow the printing of a certificate. And then on the transcript level, you'll be able to select on a registration by registration basis which of those will show on the person's transcript. So for instance, you don't want to have membership courses or donation courses showing up on someone's transcript. So you'll be able to toggle those off and make it more seamless. So to kind of give you a little quick preview here, if I go to this Get My Certificate button, it opens up in a new tab, and you can see it creates a PDF. And we've got a nice pretty certificate here that says that I've completed this course of processing credit cards and student managers. So hip, hip, hooray, I can print this out or save the PDF and take it to, a better print shop. Do whatever the heck you want to do with it. So let's go back a screen here. And again, you'll be able to choose which of those courses have certificate printing enabled so that, not every single course they've enrolled in will have that generic certificate. All right, so we're going to go back to my history page here and go to the other option here, which is my transcript. Now, this one launches directly into the transcript report. And right now, we've just got a generic report, which we're going to include a default generic transcript report with this module installation. I will say that it can be customized, but with a very limited scope. We're still trying to improve the ways that we can allow the modification of this. I will say that it is going to allow images. So if you want to have a logo on there, that is going to be got for the new ACEware online reporting / certificate / transcript module.
All right. We've got a few questions here. One of the questions was, and again, I'm going to tell you, more detail will be coming in at next week's webinar. But real quickly, a question was, how do you know if the student has taken the class to get the certificate? I don't want to be the presenter, so there'll be a spot on the registration record to mark that. And other question was customizing the receipt or the transcript of the certificate, and the answer is we're still working on how much flexibility you've got on customizing. Caveat, you will not have as much customizability features on the web just because of the web reporting that you do on the back office. So we'll need to work with, we'll just have to test it one at a time to see how much, customizing can be done on those. But there should be, you should have quite a few ways to do that. Functions in Student Manager, if you're using a lot of special functions, those will be trickier, but we have got several to work. So again, next week, if you like this, you want to play with it, tune in next week. And Sharon, you're going to, we've kind of got the caveat here about the defaults. Anything else, Sharon, on the, otherwise
can I add in one more thing?
Go ahead, Jason.
I forgot to mention that this module is not going to be released with the Build 50. It will require Build 50 of ACEware, but we are going to release this as a separate download because it's going to have a number of files that go in a number of different places, and you'll want to work with your technician to get this set up and installed. So while we are expecting 50 to be released this week, hopefully, we're not quite sure if the this ACEware certificate and transcript feature is going to be available at the same time, but definitely should be shortly after there.
All right, so a couple other questions. One of the questions was, again, can you do a custom certificate per class? And there will be a provision for that, again, given some of the restrictions in the ACEware reporting. But yeah, you can have class level certificates that are different. One of the questions, is there an extra cost for this module? And actually, this is, we should charge for it, but we're not. This is going to be part of Lanyape. It's part of your regular support agreement. So that's why, again, want to thank you for supporting us with your support agreements. That will be part of a regular upgrade. And I think, Jason, that's all. If anybody else doesn't have questions, Sharon, there's the one on the web online certificate printing. And then one last shout out. Go ahead.
Yep, one last shout out for conference. We are going to be heading to Atlanta soon, and we are hoping that we're going to see all of you as well. We've got some great sessions and some sessions on Student Manager and ACEware. There's going to be a lot of time to network with others and see how they're using Student Manager and ACEware. It's just a terrific time of learning and networking, and we just have a lot of fun. So I'm hoping that we can still see a few more registrations before we take off, but we have got a great group coming to Atlanta. So that's what I have to say. Is there anything else from Jason or Matthew or Chuck before we let folks get back to work? I'm hearing nothing. So have a good afternoon, everyone, and we hope to see all of you again next week. Have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye.